sitting at Hutton Vale today, this is actually my work kitchen, and we are a mixed farm, and we do a number of value-adding things as well, with a small range of chutneys and wine, and we do lamb for the farmers market and a number of restaurants. Hutton Vale has been part of the Angus family for a long time. In 1843 it was first settled. I've obviously been a little bit tending towards the creative side in things as well, not only in the business but in the way we present things and what we do in the buildings and things in the paddock. There's been a chance for me to actually exercise my passions as well, which I'm very grateful for.
I was lucky to come into Hutton Vale and help Jan out in the kitchen making some passata. But it also gave me a good opportunity to actually, discuss with Jan her passions and how the farm came about. I wandered off and started to have a look around, and it was a minefield of I don't want to say stuff, but it was a minefield of hundreds of years of history just laying around.
In the form of stuff.
In the form of stuff. Yeah, it's been an amazing process just going through and then just trying to tie Jan into into these things that I've found on the farm. Like experimenting mould making, and I'm still doing still hoping to do some wheel throwing in there as well, but still working with the beautiful porcelain and how the porcelain interacts with the textures throughout the farm, and how I bring those textures to the porcelain forms. So it's been an amazing journey.
Well, I'm pleased that you find it complex like I find it complex. I wouldn't like you to get away with an easy journey, because there are all these things going on all the time, and a lot of that accumulation is just stuff, and then a lot actually fits in somewhere, and it's got a story to tell. Even though it's not used today, it's still part of the journey we've been on. Something
that would be normally sort of superfluous sitting in your barn, and when I can transform it into something quite beautiful, like exactly what you've done, and and getting people to engage in that is really quite exciting.
Yeah. Well, I find it very exciting to watch you at work. I don't have the time to make things that are just there. They have to have a purpose to it, and I think that frugality is about reinventing, recycling, not wasting, have a light footprint on the earth that we're on, and it all comes into the philosophy of how we try to run our farm as well.
Yeah, so this is the original insulator, which is made of glass, and that one was a resin mould, and giving it that new life.
I just have always loved the shape of those jars, so I've kept quite a few of them.
Yeah, and you do see them throughout the farm, and you put candles in them, and you wide up these contraptions on them.
I've done all sorts of things with them. They're just such a nice jar.
Yeah.
I loved it when you chose those.
My signature within my arts practice is doing a lot of mark making on them, so I think that's going to be my next task, is to go in and just see what little things I can find to use to mark make into the objects as well.
I can't get over how she picks up things that actually do mean something to me in their form or their shape. I think it's so important that we have collaborations like this. One of my long-term journeys is for people to understand that the business in arts and the arts in business, and it doesn't matter what business you're in, and it doesn't matter whether it's from a letterhead or to an exchange that's as intimate really as what we're doing in this exchange. It needs far more exposure for everybody's point of view, and while it's work for an artist, it's also growth, as you've really talked about today, but it's also an understanding that these worlds aren't separated, and Australia, I think, is getting over that hurdle, and we've got some really amazing examples and success stories, but our culture and our arts needs to be completely entwined from the grassroots level.